efforts by the Angolan government and aid organizations to isolate the Marburg virus means getting in and out of Wiedge is extremely difficult. We're currently on a chartered flight into the town, which is at the very epicenter of the outbreak. It's a trip that normally takes about 14 hours by road. Ironically, air transport is one of the ways this virus can be spread to other areas. Every day, the World Health Organization's mobile contact teams visit an area where someone is either sick or dead. There's been a death in the house behind us, and the team's currently negotiating for access to the body. Once this long line has been laid out to sea, it'll stretch for between 20 and 25 miles. Hooks like this one that are baited with mackerel are then attached to the line at intervals of roughly 18 meters. After that, it's a waiting game. We're about ready for takeoff and to get this bird in the air. I've been promised a relatively gentle ride. They said the aim of taking me up was not necessarily to get me airsick, but rather to give me a bird's eye view of what the Silver Falcons do every day. But despite that assurance, I was still pretty nervous.
All right, here we go for the wing over. All I see around me is blue sky. It's absolutely incredible. I have no idea where the land is.
To Victory in front.
Raising my stomach slightly.
With the traffic, continue.
My first experience of rock climbing, and I have to say that from down here, the thing that first strikes you is just how steep and sheer this cliff is. But when you're up there, you're not that conscious of how high up you are. But what really gets you is the pain in your fingers and forearms. You have to be incredibly strong to be able to do this, and sadly, I think I need a few more years in the gym. From the house, the two men were taken to what Mohammed recalls was an area of thick bush just outside Escort. There, the armed men and officials regrouped before covering their captives' heads with hoods and taking them on a 5-hour journey in separate cars. In 1997, Carte Blanche broadcast The Cook Report. It blew the lid on canned lion hunting. The public was outraged, and a moratorium was put in place to try and stamp out the practice across the country. But what most people don't realize is that the moratorium was voluntary, and far from ending canned hunting, the practice of shooting captive-bred lions has in fact flourished. What shocked the South African public were these images and the story they told about a lioness that was shot by a German hunter on a lion breeding farm.
The lioness had 3 cubs. We took her out of the camp that morning into a 100-hectare enclosure, which is not legal. And she was still running up and down the fence. She wouldn't leave the cubs, even though a bait was used to try and lure her away from the fences so that the hunter wouldn't see the fences and be caught up in the illusion. Even though she wouldn't leave the fences, he still shot her. Could see the cubs on the other side of the fence, but that didn't bother them.